Alright, so I just watched the new My Hero Academia movie called My Hero Academia You're Next. And was it good? Was it not good? Was it overrated, underrated? I'm about to tell you guys. Honestly, this movie was a bit underwhelming. I'm only saying it was underwhelming because I had extremely high hopes for this movie. If you guys aren't aware, when season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen dropped, Gege Akutami, with people say it's a coincidence, but I think it was planned. He purposely planned the manga and the anime to kind of sync up based on the episodes and what the episodes were about with the characters and related it to the manga. And if you're paying attention and read the manga, but also watch My Hero Academia, it seemed like Horikoshi was doing the same thing. With the last episode of the season being I Am Here and it being focused on All Might, and with the villain of the movie You're Next being falsely inspired by All Might, I felt like they were just telling us, guys, this is the one. You guys have to watch this. Because Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was one of the greatest spectacles in the history of animes. Whether you like Jujutsu Kaisen or not, in terms of the direction, the art direction, the animation, and just the season period, it's one of the best in shonen. So when I realized and made all these connections with the ending of season 7 of My Hero and connected it to the movie, I was super ecstatic. But the movie wasn't bad, but it wasn't really memorable. Mind you, the movie had its moments, especially the ending with the animation and etc. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of getting tired of these anime movies just putting out mid movies and then just banking on the animation in certain scenes to carry the entire movie. Because at a certain point, you guys can't just focus on animation. You guys actually have to have plot. And yes, this movie had plot, but technically any story in the history of stories has plot. The plot was mediocre. Without spoiling the movie, basically there's this villain. He's the head of this crime family, and when I think it was season 3, after All Might defeats All For One, and then he tells Deku, you're next. This villain's watching the screen, and somehow he thinks that All Might is talking to him, and then yes, he fully commits to the villain arc while impersonating All Might from that point forward. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this villain was very underwhelming and very forgettable because I was excited for this movie because, one, I've already stated this in this channel, but I don't watch movie trailers like that. I only watch the first trailer. After the first trailer, I don't watch it because a lot of times the trailers give basically the whole plot and they spoil the movie. So based off the trailer I saw, I assumed that the villain had All Might's abilities. And that's really what I was banking on in this movie. Because yes, in the anime, they somewhat showed us All Might fighting, but we never truly saw peak All Might fight. And I thought that this movie was going to be like, hey, let's just give the fans what they've always wanted from the inception of My Hero Academia. That's what I assumed. Maybe in the second trailer, the third trailer, maybe they told the audience that, hey, this guy has a completely different power. It's not All For One, One For All, but maybe I should have I don't know. Mind you, it's not a bad movie, but it's a very forgettable movie. The only memorable thing from this movie is the animation sequences near the end of the movie. Other than that, there's nothing. Also the Butler storyline with the girl, but I don't even remember their names, so is it really that memorable? Plus, I'm very pissed off. I'm not actually pissed, but I'm kind of annoyed on how they handled Bakugo in terms of the animation because Mind you, this movie's before season 7. I don't know if it's canon. They're implying it's canon, but who knows? But it's before Bakugo's awakening. Obviously, spoiler alert, but hopefully you guys are caught up to the anime. He had an awakening. I'm not going to say what it is in case you're not. But it's before his awakening. So in terms of his animation, Todoroki got crazy animation. Obviously, Deku got crazy animation, but it seems like with Bakugo, it's just regular, typical explosions, nothing else. Could you guys let me know if this is canon? Because did Deku kill the villain at the end? I'm pretty sure he killed him, but I'm not sure. This movie is very confusing. Honestly, this movie didn't have to be made. And if they made it, it shouldn't have come out now. Because this movie has one of the worst post-credit scenes I've ever seen in movie history. The post-credit scene for this movie is Shigaraki basically waking up before his fight with Stars and Stripes. It's like, dude, shouldn't y'all put this movie out before the season? Anime movies always come out before in Japan, so they probably did that, but in Japan for the Japan audience. So if they did, I'm not mad at that. Honestly, I don't think this movie was necessary. After watching this movie, it's like they didn't have to make this movie. They generally didn't have to make this movie. I would have just preferred, instead of focusing on another movie, you guys should be focusing on the story that's literally about to end, and focus on the ending of the story and putting your best foot forward when it comes to the direction of the story and the animation. I don't think anybody was asking for another My Hero movie. I'm pretty sure the community was saying we don't want any movies anymore, because everyone was saying the movie was taken away from the quality, which it kind of did. But yeah, basically, the movie was cool. It was fun. I don't regret watching the movie, but it wasn't really necessary, and it wasn't really memorable. That's all I have on the movie. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know. What you guys think of the movie? Am I being too harsh? Am I being too lenient? Let me know in the comments.